morning and welcome back to DayBreak USA. Jay Young here along with Jason Rico. And our next guest is Dr. Monica Mansfield from Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. You work at the Medway Animal Hospital, and you're also a contributor to the Jordan Rich Show on WBZ Radio in Boston. That's AM 1030. She's also published a new book for kids that helps them understand what happens when you have to euthanize your family pet. Good morning, Dr. Monica. How are you?
Good morning, Jay. Thank you so much for having me on.
You are so welcome. I am a pet owner. We have a dog who's now about 8 years old. We just have 4 brand new cats. They were just kittens last year. But we've always been pet owners, and we've had some pets die of old age, and that's a hard thing. And we've had to actually put 2 down, and that's even harder.
It sure is. It's a very poignant time for both adults and for children. And so that's one of the things that we were hoping with the book, to give a language for parents to help as a tool for children when they're going through this difficult transition. Because a lot of times the parents are grieving well and as well at the same time. And so we hope to help the whole veterinary field that way with giving language and helping be something that makes it an approachable subject for children in a kind of a life lesson in a very compassionate way.
Yeah, when you have to say goodbye, loving and letting go of your pet, and because there's that guilt that every pet owner feels, you're thinking, you know what, is this the right thing to do? You know, I know it's probably good, or am I doing it because, you know, I went through that. We had a tabby cat that just became ornery. It was about 16 or 17 years old, wasn't healthy, wasn't cleaning itself anymore, and we finally decided it was time to put him down, but I felt so terrible about that.
I know, Jay, and I'll give you a secret. All of us in the veterinary field, whether we be veterinarians or veterinary technicians, when it comes time for our own pets, we always consult one another. Even though we know it's the right thing, you just kind of need to have someone help you know that you're making the right decision. So it's a natural thing to feel bad one way or the other. We don't want to feel responsible for making a decision too early, but on the other hand, we feel like we don't want them to be feeling uncomfortable or feeling like they're suffering. And it can be a really agonizing time to feel like we're catching it just right. A lot of times we don't have to, though. It's not like a test question where you have to get the perfect day. I think if you're working with your veterinarian and following, what in your heart is right for your animal, too, almost all the time people reach the right decision. But it is racked with a lot of heavy decision-making.
And, of course, November is a Adopt a Senior Pet Month. Dr. Mansfield.
Fantastic. Have you ever adopted a senior pet, Jay, before?
You know what? I have not. We've always adopted puppies or kittens.
Well, I have, in the last 2.5 years, had the privilege of having 2 elderly dogs that have been no longer be able to be kept by their owners, and it has been just a wonderful process. And they are dogs who already kind of know the ropes. They know about social interaction, and the benefit for me is they were both kind of lazy couch potato dogs, which worked very well for my lifestyle. One of them was a dog who she's no longer with us, either of them, but one of them was a dog who needed intensive kind of medical care, so who better than with a veterinarian. But she was just such a joy, and in the 1.5 years that I had her, everyone in our neighborhood came to know her. She was a great ambassador, wagged her tail all the time. And so they can, if we kind of stay open towards thinking about adopting an older pet, there can be just such a great gift of them spreading themselves joy-wise to the people in their lives around them.
And I will tell you, at about this time last year, we adopted 4 kittens all at once. So they were at the animal shelter. They were offering a 2-for-1 if you bought one of the same litter. And with those kittens, we almost couldn't have Christmas because they destroyed the Christmas tree. We had to lock them out of a different room. It was. I wish we'd had adopted an older cat.
Sometimes, that they're so adorable when they're little, but there is no question there's a lot of energy that goes into the training and the upkeep and the, like you're saying, the house proofing that goes along with the youngster until that. We always say when they're 2 or 3 that whole teenagerhood quiets down, but there's a beauty to a dog who's already been there, done that, gone through it, already has their house training. You know who they are. They're already mapped out as to what their temperament is, what personality is, and many times they're very grateful. And I think also, Jay, at shelters, they're often not the first dogs or cats to go when they're an older dog or cat. And if a family is in the position where they feel like they are ready to invite another pet into their life, visiting a shelter, one little trick you might do is talk to the shelter workers and say who's in most need, but also who are a very, very nice animal that is in residence there, because the shelter workers know they are dealing with these animals every day, and they know who the very special ones are that may be difficult to place because of age, but also have just spectacular temperament.
And dogs and cats are they're living longer now because of all of the advances in veterinary medicine too. So I mean, that's great.
Absolutely, and I feel so privileged to be working in this time frame in veterinary medicine where we do have a lot to offer in terms of detection, things we have learned just on our physical exams that we didn't used to know, but also the tools that we have at our disposal. Routine blood testing can find a lot of things that might be hidden for a while. Cats are famous for hiding anything that's subtle to them. They don't want us to know if they're not feeling well. They try to keep that from us. So sometimes just like little subtle things we can find on either an physical exam or blood work. But if a problem is found or is a little bigger than that, we do have tools such as radiographs and ultrasound, which allow us views as best as we can do with very little problem to the animal. It's usually a very, very peaceful procedure to get a lot better look inside. So we're very fortunate to have these tools.
And our guest again is Dr. Monica Mansfield, and November is Adopt a Senior Pet Month. And if you're maybe you're a couple that your kids are all out of the house now, and you don't want a little pet, a little kitten or a puppy, it would be great to adopt an older cat or dog.
It's very true. And also another idea about thinking about an older pet is some veterinary offices will have people who work at their office who are fairly involved with some type of rescue work. Just about every place I've ever worked has at least one or two people who have their kind of pulse on dogs that need placement, cats that need placement that aren't the typical puppy or kitten. So it might even be worth a call to the vet's office and see, do they have someone that's in need? Sometimes people's family lives change and their situation is different. They no longer are able to live at a place where their pet can stay with them, or allergies have developed, or things that are agonizing to the family. But to know that another kind family is seeking that type of arrangement, it may even be that type of word of mouth with your veterinarian's office.
Well, Dr. Monica Mansfield, thank you so much for being on the show this morning and letting us know about all this. And again, the book that you have out now is When You Have to Say Goodbye, Loving and Letting Go of Your Pet.
Here now.
DayBreak USA continues in just a moment. Stay close.